Good evening and welcome on this prime time newscast on Equinoxe Television. First, the top stories. Over in the far north region of the country, a chief has been sanctioned in this for quitting one party to another. In this newscast, we'll give you ample details, and we shall as well be visiting other regions and this presenting to you the effervescence with regards to the campaign across the National Triangle. These are the top stories. The news in full in just a jiffy. Welcome back. In a bid to reduce the rate of deaths recorded on roads this recent years, in Yaoundé specifically, a civil society organization has begun sensitizing motorbike riders in the central region of the country, and this presenting an innovative way of curbing this highway accidents and road accidents in the country by presenting new sets of helmets. We have details in this write-up. Studies have proven that for safety and security, bike riders are to possess some highway tools and respect the highway code. Failure to do this records on road accidents in Cameroon has had an outstanding number of fatal accidents, which included motorbikes, due to the non-respect of road safety principles. These records have been taken at heart by some civil society actors who, in a sensitization campaign, have come up with comfortable helmets for the security of bike riders and your passengers. We investigated and we realized that most bike riders didn't put on helmets because it is uncomfortable. So we have come up with new helmets so as to enable them put on helmets for their safety. Hardly do bike riders put on helmets, and according to the civil society actors, it is one of the primordial regulations on the highway. Lawrence Kamta is in charge of motorbike riders of Carrefour Carrier in Yaoundé. With helmets, there is security, and we have been sensitizing bike riders to align to this at Carrefour Carrier of Yaoundé. And given that road accidents have caused the deaths of a number of bike riders, the civil society actors say there is need for intense sensitization. Higret Sanga Trisi, president of the Santé Espoir organ, has then kicked off the campaign with the intention of preserving the lives of motorbike riders in Yaoundé in particular and in Cameroon in general. And onto something else, research has proven that students in secondary schools and in universities and the pupils in primary schools are highly defeated by mathematics for the seniors and arithmetic for the juniors in schools in Cameroon. In a bid to address this situation, a mathematics laboratory has been opened at the University of Boyo, and another is planned to be opened in Bamenda. We have details in the story. And certainly these elements having each other. We talk something else. Chief under the Senate of Maro has been suspended for quitting the Cameroon's People's Democratic Movement Party, and this to join the National Front for Salvation. Smart Chicken Gabriel takes us to the far north region.
Chief Hamanjam Tukor, under the Sultanate of Marwa, suspended for joining the National Front for Salvation, FSNC, of Issa Churuma Bakari. His suspension was announced by Sultan Bakari Buba as Minister Yauba Abdullahi came visiting with campaigns at its peak in the far north regional capital of Marwa. The suspension of Chief Hamanjam Tukor led to the resignation of the quarter head of Funange and that of Bamare, who followed the suspended chief to FSNC party. The trio were presented during the grand rally of the National Front for Salvation in Marwa, who are also canvassing for voters in the upcoming legislative and municipal elections come February 9, 2020. Commenting about the suspension of the chief, a key member of the FSNC. He says it's a politically manipulated decision.
Donc c'est une manipulation politique.
He says it was orchestrated by a CPDM militant of Diamare Center.
Ça a été orchestré par le représentant du RDPC du Diamare Centre.
But said they are happy.
Nous on est fiers parce qu'ils n'ont pas obtenu ce qu'ils veulent.
As if they are assured of winning the vote, he said it's 100% victory.
Nous sommes rassurés à 100%. Vous-même vous avez vu la foule. Nous sommes vraiment rassurés.
The National Front for Salvation is promising infrastructural development and above all better accountability if votes are cast to their militants come February 9, 2020.
Meantime, we talk something else, and this is still in course of the political campaign across the country. With these images in brief, before taking you to the Limber in the southwest region of the country, the candidates of the Social Democratic Front Party have on your part continued their campaign in the restive southwest region today. And after the launch in Limber yesterday, Honorable Fritz Ngekere Toker and team was in Muyoka to give reasons to the population to vote for these candidates going up for the twin polls come February the 9th, 2020. Honorable Fritz Ngekere Toker and Emma Ananyongo Lebaga visited the Muyoka market, Malinde and Yoke, to convince the population to vote. Here is a compiled extract.
The SDF campaign chairman and list head for Tiko municipality for the SDF says the SDF is ready for victory come the D-Day.
So we are hoping that everything will go. We are going to score a nice victory and SDF will come back strong again in the southwest region.
Cross Capet from the ruling CPDM party, where he was parliamentarian for the ruling CPDM party last mandate to SDF, Fritz Etoke says he knows every bit of the CPDM voting mechanism and shall puncture.
I have gone to the market, I've gone to some quarters, I've talked with the population, they are suffering. It's high time those of us in Fako, we see what we can do to help the population. It's unfortunate that some of us think only about our stomachs. We are Yaoundé, we don't think about the population back home. And even some our brothers who are abroad, who still have Republican values, to come home, let's see how we can solve this crisis because it's affecting Moyuka seriously. Look at the Moyuka Council. It's there, abandoned. We need to change things in Fako, and there's no other way we can do it but to vote massively against the CPDM, especially in Fako East, where MPs have decided to stay with micro project money for the past 6 years.
And that report, actually, you should have done the correction. We were in Limba, where the official launch of a campaign for the Social Democratic Front Party has been done. Back the report by Jefferson Amaimo. We talk something else, still in line with the Social Democratic Front Party. We just told you in a few seconds ago that the candidates of the Social Democratic Front Party have continued their campaign in the restive southwest region of the country. Precisely, sensitizations have been done in the Muyoka market, Malinde and Yoke, to convince the population who would recall to vote the locals after the launch in Limber, which we just watched. The reporter, Honorable Fritz Ngekere Toker and team was in Muyuka to give reasons to the population why they have to go in for the February 9th twin polls this 2020. Here is an extract. Nightly, we won't have this extract. We'll ride on with the launch campaign of inhabitants in Tombel subdivision in the Kupe Mwanenguba. We are in the southwest region of the country, who have once again be reassured of their security on the voting day. This was during the launching of the sub-divisional campaign that took place under the auspices of the Vice President of the Campaigns Commission, His Excellency Ellen Paul Ninchi. Smart Jikan Gabriel has details.
It was a peace plant that was brandished by the Vice President of Kupe Mwaninguba Campaigns Commission during the sub-divisional launch of campaigns for the CPDM in Tombel. The Tombel Council Hall that was filled to capacity by CPDM militants was another occasion for the elite of the subdivision to call on the population to massively turn out to cast their vote to those who will develop their community, notwithstanding the crisis they are going through, which Tombel is steadily gaining some calm.
And me, I want the population.
I want to reassure the people of Tombel that even though we are in a crisis situation, their town is once again quiet. We marched around the town and it was okay. They should come out massively and vote.
That day, may they come, may they no fear. Peace day for town. We get peace now for Tombel Center pieces in Tombel.
Knowing the tense atmosphere, the CPDM in Tombel has adopted strategies to encourage voters come out in their numbers.
We are going to do everything and put a strategy in place to fight against abstention, to encourage the population to come out and massively vote for the CPDM list. We have to do everything to make sure that we use modern means of communication, the social media, door-to-door campaigns, going to Njangi houses, going to family meetings to talk to the people, convince them that voting is a civic right. The 9th of February 2020, the entire population of Tombel will come out massively and plebiscite the CPDM list.
During the campaign period, the Tombel CPDM say they will go and ask for pardon to those they have angered.
We are going to go to every length. We go humbly. We go on our knees and beg for peace and for participation, because we know the circumstances under which we are operating now. We are begging for everybody for reconciliation, that we should come out and see reason to put in place structures that are going to enhance the development.
The sub-divisional launching in Tombel ended with a peaceful march pass through some neighborhoods of Tombel with little security around.
And still talking politics and campaign across the country, Issa Chiroma Bakari remains confident that his National Salvation Front party will grab all the municipal and the legislative seats in the Mer Oluti division. And the minister and legislative candidate was speaking at a campaign rally. We are in Mayo Oluti. For me, Armstrong Sanda has details.
But who voters in his favor? Issa Chiroma Bakari, National President and legislative candidate of the Cameroon National Salvation Front, is on the field. The head of the NSF political party list is canvassing voters in the Mayoluti division, North region of Cameroon. An administrative unit with 4 parliamentary seats and 3 councils to grab. Issa Chiroma of the NSF says the NSF party has the best offer and must not share the seat with any other political party.
Mais nous avons également dit à notre électorat.
We told our voters that the NSF party represents a new dawn and they should be confident because our candidates are men and women of integrity. They shall defend voters' interests when and wherever necessary. While promising better days for the people in exchange of a place at the Ngwaikele Glass House, the opposition leader and current minister remains faithful to his allegiance to President Paul Biya.
Nous rappelons à nos militants l'engagement.
We reminded our supporters and sympathizers of the firm and irreversible engagement that we took to support President Paul Biya at night, during the day, at every level and angle. We hope it goes as far as possible.
Notre partenaire, Monsieur Paul Biya.
The municipal and legislative seats of Mayoluti are highly contested, and the people expect nothing but meaningful developments from those on which their confidence will be bestowed come February 9, 2020.
And while the opposition side remains optimistic vis-a-vis this twin polls come February the 9th, 2020, the ruling party and the leader party as it's now in the country, the Cameroon's People's Democratic Movement, with its militants and supporters in the city of Douala remain as well optimistic. They were meeting recently in the Douala 3 neighborhood. We have details with Immaculate Fogwe.
Preparations ahead of the February 9 twin elections in Cameroon are still on, with different political parties putting in different mechanisms in order to woo electorates so as to have them cast their votes in favor of their candidates. The CPDM party branch of Yassa in the Douala 3 subdivision is, however, not left out, as they could be seen trying to cut their teeth and dot their I's so as to get the seats they are vying in for in Yessa. Camille Kindi, divisional president of Wuri East, says the CPDM party is in for the development of Cameroon. We have to explain to the population why they have to vote for us. The CPDM party wants equal development for everyone in Cameroon. Another militant explains that the unity experience in the party assures them of being up to the task. I can boldly tell you that we are ready now more than ever. You can see behind me those going in for elections. They are united, and I think that is one of our greatest strengths. Voters have been encouraged to vote for CPDM candidates so as to guarantee the development of Cameroon.
Next is our special page on the elections campaign. Welcome back, and represented right here on set with us for this special page, we have a representative of the Cameroon's People's Democratic Movement Party, communicator by name Barrister Acho Julius Ngu Tabe of the CPDM. Welcome, and thanks for accepting our invitation.
Thank you very much, Hermine, for inviting me.
And it's a pleasure to receive you. How is the campaign pulling on?
Oh, since the campaign was launched on the 25th, CPDM is faring very, very well, because we are on the field, making sure we get in touch with the population all over the country. You know, we are sometimes represented all over Cameroon, and that's the only party in Cameroon that's capable of doing that. So we make sure that despite the mishaps in certain areas and misunderstanding, we're struggling to make people to come back to their senses to understand that in Cameroon, politics needs to be played by every Cameroonian. Okay. It is your civic right to come out to vote. Vote for the candidate you like, vote for the candidate you think can do the best in your society. Our CBA campaign is based on 3 major issues.
And before getting on the major issues, maybe certainly in your plan of action, you're talking there about some mishaps. Now, we've realized that in Douala, for instance, we have the various municipalities with candidates already representing the CPDM to run for the twin February the 9th polls. For instance, we have the Douala 2 council area with candidates who are showing up for the polls. We have also the Douala 3 council area. We have CPDM candidates who are vying in for the elections. We as well have the Douala 5 council area with candidates of the CPDM vying in. Now, you talk about the mishaps, previous failures maybe of some municipalities. Douala 2, how was it like for the past mandate? Douala, we have Douala 1, for instance, council area. How is it like for the past mandate? You are representing the CPDM.
You know, I was talking on a general terms about the CPDM in Cameroon.
In Cameroon first.
Okay, if you want us to come back to specifics, that can equally be done. Okay. But you should understand that CPDM is a party that carries out its issues methodically. And we have a regional head who's the Minister of State, Minister of Justice, who knows how to go about it, how to play the game. If you notice what's going on in the town, it is well organized and systematic. They move from one municipality to the other without any hinge, well organized by those in charge, the departmental, Mr. Kindi, as well as the local heads. You should know that CPDM is a party which is well structured.
Okay.
And because of structuring, things are planned beforehand, so that by the time it is being realized on the field, there are no quacks. In Douala here, they go according to a program, because you know the electoral law says every party has to make its electoral program, as to its rallies, and forward to the administration. As we've done that, and the administrators are aware of where we're going to at every time. We talked about Douala 2, Douala 3.
Yes.
There was Douala 4. They're preparing Douala 1, which is supposed to be the end of the day. Let me put it that way when it comes to the party. You know, Douala 1 is the hub of the administration.
Yes.
And it's a very important area where CPDM we don't joke about it.
Okay.
I've assisted the rally on the Douala 4, which was very well attended and which was hectic. And we saw the enthusiasm of the militants who are ready to come out to vote for the party.
Militants were satisfied of the last mandate of the outgoing mayor of the Douala 4 council area?
You know, we will understand that on February 10th or after midnight on February 9th.
Yes.
But so far, from the output of the councillors, we think that the militants will go back for them. Mayor Kum of Bonaberi has been excellent.
What makes you to be this convinced?
Because you see, when you see their output, you can imagine Bonaberi is in the marshy area. If you see somebody who has built over 20 bridges during his mandate, he has put over 46 culverts in areas to make the roads passable. He has some sort of paved the roads, especially in heavily populated areas, to facilitate the access of people. He has some sort of struggle to structure the market. So it's not been easy. For example, in the area of Grand Hangar, it's not been easy because people actually leave the market shades to come to the roadside. And you know, you don't contain the population by brutalizing them all the time, but you make them understand.
It's systematic.
So as I say, CPDM is systematic. They do their things systematically and methodically. That's where we are.
Now, what about Douala 2, for instance? We've had a series of affairs to actually raise eyebrows in Douala 2, which Mayor Denise Fampo tried to resolve during her last mandate.
If you notice, Douala 2 has never been organized as you find it today.
Okay.
It is clean. Because one thing I noticed, that it is clean. The roads are well structured. People are more disciplined. You don't find people hanging along the waysides. You go to the council, you're well served, because the mayor is a visionary and the best for the time being in that locality. You know, it's not easy for a lady to handle a purely macho quartier like Douala 2, but she's been up to the task up to now. If you notice, you finally have people criticizing her, even of the opposition. Everybody realizes that Mayor Fampo has been up to the task.
And we've had other municipalities which the CPDM is eyeing. Douala 3 was once in the hands of the CPDM when we get back Memory Lane, and today the CPDM is targeting the Douala 3 council area as well.
Of course, you should understand, if you notice, the only thing, the outgoing team of the Douala 3 of the party, I don't want to call names here, is that they built the dog party market. But they forget that was a project started under the CPDM.
Which was just accomplished.
They just came and accomplished it, and they thought that they want to claim ownership. But anyway, it's no problem. It is good for the development of Cameroon. But apart of that, I've not seen any other thing they've said about Douala 3, to the best of my knowledge and information. I only know that they are there, and they finished the projects that were planned by CPDM some time ago, 7 years ago.
And we have other municipalities. We have the Douala 5 municipality.
You know, like Douala 5, you understand that our erudite and very competent mayor passed on to glory while in service. So it's not been easy for Mayor Ebanda to take over and continue from where she left. So by the time he could take off from where Madame Phoning left, the mandate was almost coming to an end.
Okay.
But I will assure you that if you see...
Meaning he never had enough time to...
If you see the rate of development going on presently in that area, you understand that Ebanda is doing a good job. He's struggling to rehabilitate the place, rehabilitate the roads and things like that, ameliorate the system of collection of dirt. It's sorry to put up the hygiene. Because I know one thing, at one point, Bonaz Musadi was smelling.
Yes.
If you notice that,
meanwhile, that wasn't the case.
That nauseating smell is no longer there.
Okay.
So the council is doing its best to see how they can handle that.
And now we have candidates in the CPDM party who are vying for the respective localities, not only in the Littoral region, in other areas across the country. What in Douala, for instance, are you promising, you the CPDM, to the local community with different realities, with different challenges, with requests coming up time and again? What do you have to present to them? Because what is certain is when we exchange Team Equinoxe with the local community, we realize that Cameroonians, what they need is a suitable and comfortable atmosphere and lifestyle, which is yet to be handed to them. So what do you have to present to them, the CPDM, with your candidates, if they have other mandates?
I really don't agree with you that most of what you're saying has not been handed to the population. Most of it has been handed to the population, especially where the CPDM finds itself. That notwithstanding, if you look at the caliber and the quality of persons chosen by the CPDM, you understand that they are people of integrity, they are people of the society, and the people are very humble. If you know from the selection process that started, everything came from the grassroots. In such a way that tomorrow, the person you choose from your quartier or from your area where you're living, and you can look at him in the face, or he can look at your face and say, look, this is what I've done for you people. You sent me to go and represent you.
Yes.
I won the elections, and this is what I've done during my mandate. And I will look at a straight face and say, look, and they'll congratulate you for what they
So it's a strategy of the
understand
CPDM.
That the biggest challenge they're going to have is the law of decentralization.
Okay.
Which means you don't need to have only people who are going there for the sake of going there, but the people who are going there to start a new deal, because it's a new law and everything has to be different. You should understand that when it comes to the municipalities, CPDM brought in a lot of new faces. CPDM brought in a lot of women and a lot of youths to make sure that with the harmony that they'll bring into the new system, and they will be capable of abiding by the new law of decentralization and making sure life is better for the population. You know, the local government is going to be the center of development in every area. They are supposed to boost the agriculture, fishery, husbandry, livestock, and whatever in their area of influence, whatever is necessary. And once you use men of integrity and who are humble, you always succeed. And that's why we believe that the team that CPDM has chosen for the various council is really going to be different from last time because of the new law on decentralization, which has to be applied to the letter. And it is high time we in CPDM, we say, no matter who comes in, the first thing we're going to do is to train you to be capable of doing your job better. And we know that our head of state and president of our party has a program of an emerging Cameroon, as well as a system of greater opportunities. And so we intend to have people who can follow this vision so that Cameroon becomes a better place. More so, if you notice, those who've been chosen to run for legislative positions are equally men of integrity. But we want to make sure that there are people who can come to the parliament and make a difference, and make a constructive difference, and make sure that debates are what the people want to hear and what the people want to be seen done. We'll make sure that the laws which are voted in that parliament are the best in the circumstances for the Cameroon people. We want to make sure that nationalism, unity, and strength of this country be noticed by everyone, first in Cameroon, before going anywhere else. Now,
are you saying that in Douala, for instance, where we have thousands of Cameroonians are fetching for a daily living, they have no challenges?
You know,
because you said most of their realities, or they really can't complain. You almost
a human being is never satisfied. Every blessed moment you should be ready for the human being to say, I want some more. No matter how hard you try to do your best, there's always some little part which is just an exception. So, but if we live on principles are not exception. You'll find your way. I can bet you Cameroon or Douala is one of the places where you hardly find a hungry person, which is the basic in normal life. We usually say the best thing for a Cameroonian is to be well fed, or at least to be sure of having at least a meal a day. You go to some other countries, you don't have that. And in Cameroon, in Douala, for example, it is possible to eat, to spend from 50 francs to whatever amount of money just to feed yourself.
Meaning Cameroonians have just limited worries at the level of feeding?
No, I'm not saying it's limited, it's an example. I'm saying that the principle is that the level of living in Douala is better. I've not said it is perfect. We are not in heaven. The only perfect place on earth is heaven. But here we have some challenges, but the challenges are not that overbearing as we may imagine. At least we can live with it, which is the most important thing. Can we live with it? I think yes, we can.
Very interesting there, and definitely just a few seconds. You have certainly Cameroonians who are watching, Douala City dwellers who are watching. You have something to tell them? A few seconds before we part ways?
Yes. The first thing is that voting is a civic right.
Yes.
And if you want a change or you want something which is better for you, go and vote for the person you think can help you the next day, or can be better for the greater good of your population. So on the 9th of February, I'm calling on all Doualans as well as Cameroonians to go out massively and vote for their choices. And the best choice in the circumstances is the CPDM. Vote for CPDM list, and you have a better Cameroon for you and me tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Barrister Julius Ongu Taber of the Cameroon's People's Democratic Movement Party. Thanks for accepting our invitation.
The pleasure is always mine being here with you. Thank you very much for inviting me.
And we shall be right in receiving another guest who is right here with us. Yes, for an opposition side, Representative Prizo Eyumajo of the United People for Social Renovation. He is actually here to represent this opposition side party, which is as well going in for respective posts of responsibilities for the legislatives and municipal elections across some localities and municipalities in the city of Douala. And we shall be receiving you, Mr. Prizo Eyumajo of the United Peoples for Social Renovation. Thanks for joining us. Good evening.
Good evening, madam. It is a pleasure of being here today on behalf of my party, and I want to greet you and express all my honor, and also to all the staff of your media. As well, I want to greet all the members of my party who are on now watching this program, as well as all Cameroonians, and most especially we have in our mind our brothers and sisters from the Northwest and Southwest, where there are still some kind of unrest, which appear to be a kind of obstruction for the elections. But we hope that in the days to come, the situation will come to normal, and the election will take place effectively, and after that we will know where to step to.
Okay, and how is the campaign pulling on?
Well, thank you. I want to say that you nearly, pulled me out of the campaign.
You guys are on the field. You're actually on the field.
We are on the field. We are on the field. We actually launched our campaign last Saturday in Mambanda, and after that we went to Bunindale recently. But daily we do what we call in French the porte-à-porte. That is one-on-one. We go to the field, and this morning we went to the area of Bunindale once more, and this afternoon I believe my friends are in Ngomba. Yes, where we are trying to meet people and convince them about the necessity of choosing, voting for us. So we want to believe that we are confident we are working hard to make or to have the best of the results.
And how's the feedback? How's the contact on the field? The feedback with the population?
Well, we have about 3 categories of people on the field. You know, those who are disgruntled. We have those who belong to the other political parties, who have their views.
Okay.
And then we have those who were actually waiting for our party to come, you know, to the field to address them our message and tell them what we intend to do in case they will vote for us. So I want to say globally we are moving on well, and we are having positive results from many of the Douala dwellers we meet in the Bunaberi constituency especially.
And what we know is you have candidates who are vying for a post of responsibilities in the Douala 4 Kento area. Which other locality? We have the Douala 3. Which other localities that you are targeting?
Yeah, in the littoral we have Edea 2.
Okay.
Then we have Yingi.
Where is that? Okay, Yingi.
Yingi. Okay. Yingi is in the Camp division. I mean, Camp division. It's a subdivision.
Good.
You're
targeting those zones.
Yes. Then we have also in the central region.
Okay.
Where we have Gimbasal, we have Wokito, we have Ndeki. So actually we choose some few constituencies, taking into consideration, you know, the strength that we have, because, you know, in politics, it's a business of step after step. We do not want to, you know, yes. So that's...
Meaning in Douala you're targeting just the Douala 4 Kento area?
Yes, only Douala 4, because actually we couldn't gather enough candidates to, you know, vie for some other localities, constituencies. Like we're thinking of Douala 5, Douala 1st, and so on, but unfortunately we couldn't get to that results. But we remain confident that we are able, in case we win Douala 4, to make the difference.
Now, how confident are you with regards to Douala 4 and the population? How confident are you to get yourself and get the right seats in the municipality in Douala 4?
Yeah, first of all, I think it is important to remind you that, or remind the population that the leader of our party, Mr. Matumba Serge Espoir, is a councillor in the Douala the 4th in Bunaberi. And again, on the basis of the fact that Cameroonians all over, and particularly in the Bunaberi, are yearning for a change.
Okay.
Yeah, we do believe that these 2 reasons might not be enough, but they are sufficient to show that we can do better than yesterday. So our confidence comes from the fact that moving into the field and meeting people, you know, we were able to see, we were able to gather a number of informations, you know, about the council and about the what may I say?
Maybe the realities of the population, because it has to do with serving the people.
But also the achievement, the achievement of the present executive and the present
the outgoing
executive and also the parliamentarians, because we are not in Douala for only on the municipal. We are also
for the legislative.
So I think this is important to mention. So we took account of all this. And being within the council, we were able to underline some of the mistakes that were done by the, you know, the leading, you know, party within the council. Because it is important to say that it is not only about going to the population that matters.
Okay.
There is an important thing. One thing matter. One thing matters a lot. It is how do you manage the council itself. Okay. And the management of the council is not about managing the resources or the material and financial resources. Okay. Managing a council is also managing the people. And the people, the people or the human being are the first material. They are the first resources all over the world. In every business, whatever you want to do, you must count first on the people. So our main task before anything on the field is to make sure that, first of all, we look into the quality of management of the council itself, so that people will not be express selfishness, because many of the executive of councils today give the impression that it is their business.
Okay, so you want to decentralize power.
Yeah. Actually, we want to do that.
Okay.
And also, you know, do all we can do to make sure that we match the means we have and what is to be done on the field. Because sometimes people come and they talk about money. It's not the money that matters. You may have little money, but how you manage it matters.
Okay.
So we have within the council that aspect that we have to handle. And secondly, you can attest with me that today, if you look at the population, the social, ties people have today, it is like Cameroonians who are living in Douala are divided. They are, mounted. Yes.
Okay.
Whereas all of us are citizens of the same nation, and the councils are our councils. We are part of the councils, and therefore there is no need, to give the impression that because you are of this party or the other, the grounds of your expression must be sentiments, or because you are from this region or the other. No, it is very important to teach people the need to work hand in glove, irrespective of who won the election or not, who is managing. And this is an important task we are going to, carry on during our mandates in case the population will accept.
Okay.
But beside that, we also have some important, point which we have always presented. We have education, which is one of unavoidable, problem in this nation. I believe you know very well of
the recent
cases that are happening in schools. So, and what we think is that education is not, it's not about going to school. It's not left to the school, environment alone. No, we have to do what we call popular education, because when people are met within their area of residence through a number of activities, eventually you can pass on a certain number of values, like cohabiting. Cohabiting is not giving to the people. You have to teach them to respect each other.
So that's how your party intends to resolve aspects of this deviance.
That's the first step.
Schools.
That's the first step.
Okay.
Yes, it is very, very important, because sometimes when we discuss about issues like security, people tell us about the army, about the police, and so on. No, but security begins from ourselves.
One-on-one security.
Yes,
the community itself.
How do we live in our community? So that is the first footstep which we have to take.
Okay.
And beside that, so as I told you about education, we are going to make sure that we work with the government in accomplishing a number of projects which sometimes people feel that it is the government that has to come.
Okay.
But we want to urge the government to do something to boost the yes.
Okay.
For instance,
list a few of such projects.
Yeah, we have we have in this country what we call multifunctional or multipurpose centers.
Okay.
Yes. If you look at the amount of the population of Douala and you look at the amount of
such centers,
they are very, very few.
Okay.
Very limited. So we think that education has to be something which is done, which has to be brought close to the people. It's a matter of proximity.
Okay.
We have to give an opportunity to every citizen, wherever he is, to have a minimum education.
So your focal point is education.
We are focusing on that.
Okay.
And now, materially, I know there are so many other things which are needed in Douala Fort. It's true there is a lot of work going on there.
List a few of them in less than 30 seconds.
We have the road network that has to be, maintained.
Okay.
And we want to assure the population that we are going to carry that on because Bunindale, for example,
yes,
Ndobo and some other areas, they are swampy areas, and now there are problem of roads during rainy seasons. Yes,
you want to make the roads passable.
We want to make the road passable.
Okay.
This is very, very important because if they are not culverts, if the roads are not maintained, maybe ahead of the rainy season, eventually people will have difficulty. So we want to facilitate the movement of people. We don't want people, during the rainy season to remain in their homes, whereas they have their business to go on, from which, they get their daily bread.
Okay.
So we're going to look into all these things
and resolve all of that.
And resolve them.
In 2 seconds, speak to your viewers and certainly your sympathizers out there in 2 seconds, because we'll part ways.
Yeah, of course. What I want to say to all our sympathizers is that there is only one list to vote in Douala Fort. The UPSR.
Okay. United People for Social Renovation.
Party list, because that's the list that will help us to put an end to the redundancy and to the routine that has been established in Douala Fort. We want to bring in our know-how, because talking about being there, experience one, that's one thing, but the quality of the know-how you have matters to make something better.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Madam.
you so much, Prizo Eyum Joe. You represented the United People for Social Renovation, and we received before you Barrister Julius Ongu Tabe of the Cameroon's People's Democratic Movement. Thanks for accepting our invitation, and wish you the best.
Thank you. I'm very, very grateful, and I hope that we are going to make it.
Thank you.
By the 10th of February.
Thank you so much. That does it for this pack of the news and the special campaign page. We'll meet you again tomorrow, same time, same vessel. Have a lovely evening.